Hello, can you hear me? Back up in the easy. All right, so we back. I'm gonna I'm gonna start off. Yeah, I'm good. I got allergies. The only thing the only thing that going on now is I'm doing keto. I've been doing keto for the last 4 days. So I started Saturday. So this is my this is my fourth day doing keto. So I'm trying to get in shape. So like I've been so busy doing stuff. I need to start paying attention to that. So if I can kick that, if I can do that better, I don't know. The keto thing is like, I almost feel like they say keto flu, where you feel sick. So I'm feeling sick and sore a little bit. Well, but I just know it's part of the process though. So, all right. So what I'm gonna do here uh, is try to get in here and look at the Security Plus stuff. So last week we talked about cryptography. We talked about many of these different things. Many of these different things is just a different way to do encryption. They're like algorithm based, and I don't really talk about algorithms. Most of the stuff that most of the stuff that you're gonna do, um, you do have to know some of these algorithm type stuff. You need to know what salt. You need to know what IV is, nonce, and all that. Just know what they are. Stream versus block ciphers. But just know the terms. Just know just know the terms. All right. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to. So this right here, I said that I want to try to finish a lot of these things. So let's go up to here. Risk management. I'm looking real quick. I think I want to cover. I think I want to cover this one. No, not. I wanted to cover five. I want to discuss. I want to talk about risk management today. Somebody said, "Don't forget." Uh, uh, Go L Boogie. Oh, you mean intermittent fasting? Is that what you're saying? I'm just got a keto expert in the house. Anyone know of a list of deprecated and disallowed encryption? I know DES is not triple DES. Dave Curtin has just said they're out. So yeah, so Boogie, I'm doing. I've been pretty much. I haven't been eating. I haven't been doing intermittent fasting. I'm pretty much eating probably about 11 or 12 every day. So that's actually very good for me. And I actually used to take a whole lot of cream in my coffee every morning, and I changed that up a little bit too. So I'm not ODing. I tried black a couple of times. Now I'm doing a thing. Now I'm doing just I think like an eighth of a cup is what I'm measuring out for. I was doing like I was going through half and half like crazy. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go through risk management. Some of these things are really important to me, and I think that as a security professional, you should know some of these things. So, all right, so let me not pay attention to myself. We talking about food in there. We're talking about the keto stuff. All right, so there was some really good stuff on here that I wanted to talk about really quick. All right. So some of the stuff right here is pretty. This is the kind of. I want to talk about this real quick. So these three things right here are kind of like very important. I'm gonna hit a couple of these things up. So so basically this SLE, ALE, and ARO. So basically, we have the single loss expectancy, we have an annual loss expectancy, and we have a annual rate of occurrence. So these are really important to know. Single loss occurrence means like single loss expectancy means how much do you expect to lose from one occurrence of a breach. ALE means annual loss expectancy. So how much you plan on losing annually, and ARO is annual rate of occurrence. So every asset should have some kind of value to it. There's business asset value. That's pretty easy sometimes. So asset value of a machine or laptop is kind of like you kind of know, and you're actually going to have losses regarding that too, because laptops are going to go missing and things of that nature. I've seen scenes where people just come in, and what they do is they'll come in and somebody steal computers. So basically a single loss expectancy. So how much is it if somebody loses one computer or steals a computer? So that might be $2,000 or something. So your annual, your annual cost would be the single loss expectancy plus the occurrence right here. So y'all can tell me if I'm smoking crack or something. This annual rate of occurrence times the single loss expectancy for if you just looked at one asset or one thing and taking the asset value, I said $2,000. So say we lose 5 laptops a year. That means $10,000. Now these things are business things, and I think that it's cool to nerd out, and I'm a freaking nerd, so I love to nerd out and talk about the tech. But these are the things that the business cares about, and so I just made it super easy. I said there's a asset value of 2,000. If you lose that, that's one. That's that. How many other times you expect to lose laptops? That's that. Now, what you can do is you can take this and you could just put it to any kind of thing, any kind of risk. So, is there a risk to be DDoSed, right? So you break that down. Okay, cool. How much does it cost if we're DDoSed? Right? You can say it's $1 million or something like that, right? And then it's $1 million. Same thing. How annual rate of occurrence? How many times do you think we're gonna get DDoSed? So you can say 5. 5 times SLE is 5 million. So we're gonna lose $5 million a year on DDoS. Now, why that's important is what I'm about to go over right here. So the likelihood of occurrence for a DDoS it depends on where you're at. I mean, you could have a history. The likelihood of that occurring could be pretty high. So every time that you get DDoS, you lose $1 million, right? So if the cost of a mitigation is cheaper than $1 million, you should, and it could actually resolve that. That's where you talk about fighting for security budget. this is how you get money to buy solutions. You come up with these. You do real risk assessments and explain to them how much this is going to cost, the annual loss expectancy. So single loss expectancy is $1 million. Annual, this is going to happen 5 times a year, and you're like, hey, what are we going to? Are we going to? The likelihood of occurrence is super high, low, boom, 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 and it talks about supply chain assessment. I mean, a lot of people will tell you all day that third parties are getting hacked. The Target breach is a big one. Target, what you always hear about Target is that when they got compromised a couple of years ago, it was their air conditioning vendor that was compromised, and they hopped onto their network, right? Uh, that, what Alpha Wishy just said something really funny. He said, and this is why banks that aren't PCI compliant, banks print all the money, right? So banks don't care. Banks, man, it's crazy because banks print the money. So that's funny. So all these different things. So basically, Target got hacked by somebody doing maintenance on their machine. There was a hotel in Las Vegas a couple of years ago that they got hacked by through the aquarium system. There was an aquarium system online, and it was open to. They had like a remote desktop. Remote desktop. Hold on a second. Let me clear my throat. So there was an aquarium that was compromised. Let's see this real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Las Vegas hotel aquarium hack. Oh my goodness. You see that? Y'all, man, this is like a deja vu. This happened before, where when I all right. No, what happened to me was so basically RDP is remote desktop protocol, and remote desktop protocol is it allows you to remote into a Windows machine, and so that's the leading cause of hacks on the internet from a corporate and ransomware perspective. Are y'all still with me? Can everybody hear me? Yeah, I'm trying to determine how long the lag is. All right, cool. So there's a little bit of a lag. I think everybody's streaming in the house right now, so it's a little bit of a lag on my part. So I was yeah. So what happened? For some reason, this happened before where my Ubuntu virtual machine doesn't get internet. If I pause the VM, and now it's taking forever for thing to come up. I think I don't have enough memory on this joker. All right, so I was searching for Vegas hotel aquarium. Yep, here it is. So this is a whole internet. It was a big internet thing. Yeah, a smart thermometer used to monitor the water of the aquarium. Wow. No, that's crazy. So that's why you want to consider those third party situations. Now, what happened? I believe from what I heard is that um, the whoever was the maintenance people, they had remote desktop into the aquarium thermometer, and then what happened was they got compromised. So, so this is where you want to make sure that your supply chain and all the vendors, these are third party people that can impact it. So when you're doing a risk assessment, you want to consider all those different things. There's also talking about penetration testing and vulnerability testing. These can be done internally. There's internal what we call red teams. So those teams can do the testing, and many times when you're doing something from a compliance perspective, you're going to get third party assessments done. Typically, in a penetration test, they are going to do some kind of vulnerability testing, like scanning as a part of reconnaissance. So usually can get a 2 for there. Risk response techniques: accept, transfer, avoid, mitigate. So accept the risk means that, hey, we're not going to change it. So a long time ago, there was a social media company I discovered a 0D for, and basically allowed me to exploit anybody on their social network. And the company that I was working for at the time, we set up a meeting with their CISO, their legal team, and like their VP of engineering or something like that. And what happened was, it was clear. I did a demo of the exploit, and the security people was like, "Hey, we don't think we're gonna be able to fix that." And engineering runs the company, and so we don't know if we're gonna get it fixed. And I wanted to go public with it. I was like, "Man, this is crazy. This I can hit this social network with this exploit." And the company I was working for was like, "Nope, you can't say anything about it. We're trying to close a deal with them." It was kind of funny. So in that case, for business purposes, they accept the risk. Risk transfer. Typically, when you're talking about transferring risk, you're talking about a monetary transfer or outsourcing stuff as well. So transfer the risk could be a good example of that is insurance. I can't reveal who it was. You can also avoid the risk. Avoiding risk avoidance. I don't know what the heck. I don't know what that means. I guess that if you find out, you could stop doing something. I guess. Not an NDA, but it's a big company. I still right now I'm not independent. I work for an awesome company, ReliaQuest, so I don't want to be talking about companies and all that stuff too much. So you can't be messy. So mitigate. It wasn't ReliaQuest customer though. So mitigate means that we're gonna fix it. You found it, we're gonna fix it. Change management, super important. Change management process should be comprehensive for your organization. Now, change management could be a good place to start when it comes to security, right? So in security, in security, I'm laughing at some of the banter going on. And change management is a good way to start a security program. And change management being that you want insight into what your company is doing, right? And so a lot of times this is comes like services that you're using. Like there's a lot of organizations that people do not know what services they're running at all. there's so many third-party cloud things and things of that nature. Um, yeah, so that's what I was trying to articulate. Aurelius, what? Aurelius? What is that? How do you say that? I'm dumb. All right. So yeah, avoidance would be we're going to stop doing that, or we're not going to make that purchase. We're going to stop using that service. Yeah, something like that. Avoid taking that risk. That's what I would think. But change management is super important because change management, what you're doing is what you're doing with change management is you're making sure that you're in the loop when things happen. Now, many times that these third-party sites get hacked, you want to know that because you know maybe somebody has passwords or something that's on that machine. Also, a lot of what I see with big companies, especially, there's like marketing people and sales people and people of that nature that sign up for services that you don't even know about. So as a cybersecurity company, I mean a cybersecurity organization, you want to make sure that anytime that you're adopting new technology, that you have some kind of change management process going. So change management could mean internal, like we're adding a new VLAN, and it also could be, hey, we're going to use Azure, we're going to use EC2. So basically, change management is super critical. Now, why this is interesting here is because for change management, you want to do all these different things. You want to be able to go back and say, all right, let me do a threat assessment on that service. All these different things. And then most of the times you use a third party, you're going to ask the third party to provide, in some cases, a self-assessment. And sometimes there's organizations that will actually want to pen test you. Like if you go to a big company, they're like, hey, we want to pen test your app, right, before they use it. So change management is a part of that process. So I believe all of these things should be part of the change management and risk management thing. So change management kind of keeps dibs on all this stuff. These are like onesie twosies. Like you do these all the time. Assessment. But management overall is how you manage risk and you manage changes to your network. Incident response. All right. So with incident response, you want to answer like no. Again, these are where you can go to the NIST documents. There's a NIST incident response documents, right? But you definitely want to assign roles and responsibilities. This is like super important. And so if you're in an organization, and hopefully, it seems like sometimes it's not running around like this. Cybersecurity team. That if you're doing cybersecurity or you're going to be doing cybersecurity, how it should be ran is that you, as a cybersecurity professional, in your organization, should be like what we call a horizontal organization. Let me draw this out a little bit. I'm gonna draw this out in the drawing there, because this is super important. All right, so if you're doing cybersecurity, what you want to be is there's all kind of different organizations, and I'm talking about like IT type organizations. Usually, what you're gonna have is you're gonna have different. DevOps is like kind of a ubiquitous term now. You have DevOps. A lot of people use DevOps. Some people old school. They might have a Windows team. You might have You might have a Linux team or Linux slash Unix. You might have internal like platform teams. All right, so platform means like you don't have developers and all that stuff or whatever, right? Let's just call it engineering. You're gonna have, I'm saying engineering as far as like they're building a product or something, and you're also probably gonna have a network team too. Your network team, perhaps, in some organizations, these may be one group, right? All right, so what's happening here is all these groups, they have risk. Now, your security organization should not be in any of these organizations, right? Hopefully, you'll have some kind of structure, and it depends on where you're at. But typically, you want security. You want security to be at least an equal thing, but you don't want security yelling at these people all the time. You don't want the interaction to be. You don't want the interaction to be going this way. So it's okay to be in equal departments, but you don't want to do this, right? So what you want to do is you want to have like somewhat of an oversight role. Now, you want a security team that should report to somebody like, I would say, if y'all have legal, like a legal type thing, a lawyer or a CFO. So one of those two people, and you might even have, you might have compliance or something. This is super important because what I've seen happen a lot of times, if security goes and try to talk to any of these other organizations, they're going to get ignored, right? Security, these people do not want to hear from you, all right? So, and these people, this person right here is going to be up here. That person is typically going to be a peer or somebody of a COO or CIO in an organization. So CIO is Chief Operating Officer. CIO is a Chief Information Officer. So basically, all these people are going to be reporting, their VPs or whatever are going to be reporting to him. So basically, from an oversight perspective, compliance in your CFO is supposed to keep you all out of trouble. So what you do is you don't want security. You want security serving in what we call an oversight capacity. God damn. So that oversight means that security, by proxy, by the organization structure, what security is going to do is security is going to be acting, not being the boss of these people, but security has an oversight role somewhat over this, just like legal and compliance anyway. And so security, this is the ideal situation. It's not like you're the boss of somebody, but you're working with all these organizations in an oversight role. And so basically there's verticals. Security should be, in my opinion, it should be a horizontal organization. So now what security does is security is providing risk management and all that stuff to these people all the time. Does that make sense? Yeah, but so basically, your security, and I'm gonna say let me make this clear. This is by proxy. The security organization has no power over these people at all. So what you have is you should have your security. They should be off here on the side, and this is security. And security is talking to security has the influence up here, and the orders to get stuff done is coming from up here. Because I tell you what, people hate security people in general, right? So that's how it goes. So security, you're gonna be working with these people, but you're not the boss of them. And so I tell you, like what I've always done in my career is how I always get along with everybody, because what I would do is I would learn all these people's job. I would sit down with them and learn their job, and I would be good enough to, like, if I did a scan on a Linux or Unix system, right? What I would do is I would be able to patch that system and all that stuff. So I wouldn't. This is kind of like, I'm telling you, this is kind of like I would be able to go in there and show them how to fix their thing, how to patch it, right? I would be, if I'm an engineer, I would know a pattern, or I would know anti-patterns to help them code better. Now this is what you always, I think security people should be striving. True empathy is like understanding what everybody else, you don't have to be a technical expert, but if you're telling somebody to do a dang GPO or something, I think you should probably know how that works. You don't have to be an expert like rolling out all the GPOs, because that's what they're for. If it's a DevOps thing, you should know a little bit about Amazon. So just you don't have to be certified or qualified and everything, but just be empathetic, because the opposite is everybody ignores you and nobody gets anything done. Now the reason why you want, and people always say, one of the big things about security is people will talk about how you have to have management support. Well, this is how you get management support right here. You're reporting to management. So once you're reporting it to compliance and legal, and if they ignore it, it's on them. You're not getting pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to ignore it. They're going to, and then when a CIO or COO tells them, hey, you need to take care of this. But the opposite is, if a security lead, a CISO, try to tell somebody in here what to do, they're going to be like, nah, dog, you got to be kidding me. You know what I'm saying? We got all this stuff we're doing, we can't fit that in, or whatever, right? They're going to have some freaking excuse if you try to work right here. But be friendly. You're reporting to legal, CFO, compliance, or somebody like that. That's how you do it. Basically, now the security directive, security by proxy, is that they're required to do it because somebody above them says do it. Now, I tell you what, I see it all the time where if security is at the same level as these people, you're not going to get security done. So that's kind of how that works. Let me get back to this. So why this is also important, when you're doing incident response, if you've already built these relationships, incident response is going to be so much easier. So much easier. Because now, when you have an incident, you have rapport with DevOps, you have rapport with Windows, you have rapport with all of them. And what I would do personally, this is how I roll. I want to have one person on each team that's like designated for incident response. So I need a Windows person. Hey, and I'm working with the organization. I'm like, hey, look, I need one Windows person, I need one Linux person, an engineer, and I need a network dude. So I need these people that understand incident response. So I'm going to train those people on those teams, one or two people from those teams. I'm going to make sure that all those teams understand what I need for IR. So first of all, it's oversight, but at the same time, it's a two-way street. You feel me? So basically, these people are going to be making you more secure because they're going to be able to help you out. They're going to be patching stuff, and definitely when the situation gets crazy and you're getting hacked, you're not going to be able to respond if you don't know and have those relationships built. You feel me? Yeah, you can go directly to them, but you're not the boss of them. You feel me? Yeah. So, so like you're doing your assessments. They're aware of your assessments, but the authority, it doesn't. You don't want the authority is not coming from a security team, because I tell you what, security people got a bad reputation, for sure. So that's how you work with within some organization. And the reason why I'm saying this is how you get along. This is like all the stuff that we're talking about. How do you do a risk assessment? Well, you need to know, and this is like way more people than this. I said, like, I'm gonna say, let's get rid of DevOps for now, and I'm gonna say this is marketing, right? And sales, right? Same thing. Marketing is gonna like, hey, it's this new freaking app. Does all this leads, does all this thing, and you're like, and they're gonna want to use the app. So, yeah, and then what they're gonna do is what they're gonna do, and this is how this works. This is so funny. You want to have people so the marketing sales people, they're gonna tell their person, all right, there's gonna be somebody up here, and that person is gonna be like a CRO. And that person is a CRO, that's Chief Revenue Officer. That person in charge of leads and marketing, right? So that person is gonna say, hey, he gonna go to his he's gonna go over here. Hey, COO, I really need this thing. I really need this, right? And all that stuff. So what you have to do is like the security by proxy. So now the CIO, and I'm gonna get this guy crazy. They're gonna come to you they're gonna come over here. Hey, we need to run this thing. We gotta make sure it's compliant and all this stuff. And so this is where all this is like a very circular situation. But that's how real life works. Engineering is like, oh man, did you see this new service that Amazon has now? You can do XYZ, it's headless, it's boom, 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 and all the buzzwords, and then they can be like, boom, all right, crap, we gotta do that. And then the CEO, they're gonna report that to CIO, and then you have to do the risk assessment and all that stuff. And at the same time, when it hits the fan, right, you're gonna have to respond to all the stuff too. So this is everybody. So this is like when I talk about the thing I like about. So if I was joining the military, if I was 18 again, I would either join the Air Force or Navy. I would probably join the Air Force if I could do it all over again. I was in the Navy. I would never join the Army, and I would never join the Marine Corps. However, what I do like, the Navy is kind of weird, but I'm happy I went there. But the Air Force is awesome. But what I really like about the Marine Corps is that you're a Marine first. And any Marine to tell you that. And I think the Army, you're a soldier first in the Army too. But the Marines are serious about that. They are 100% Marines first. So every Marine's a Marine, no matter what your job is, right? That should be the same thing with security, right? Everybody in the organization, should be a part of the security team, because you're going to need them. And like I said, designate somebody from each organization that understands that stuff. And I mean every organization, because something's going to happen. What if that marketing site that y'all signed up for gets compromised? Nobody over here is going to know that. Also, if the marketing team is signing up, you better make sure that you got your ear to the ground, or when if that marketing site is going to get compromised. One thing for sure is that it's probably going to be somebody on this team that gets an email that says, "Hey, you need to reset your password or something," right? That person, that marketing team or sales team, needs to be aware that, oh, this is a compromise of a third-party system. I need to tell security about this. You feel me? Because what happens is password reuse is super prevalent. So that same person probably set up numerous accounts. So if a hacker attacks site Z, then they're going to go to Y, X, and whatever the other ones are. I can't count backwards. Hopefully you never ask me that if I get pulled over at some point, because they'll think I'm drunk. But that's the way it works. Everyone has to be like security aware, and you have to be ready to respond to an incident. Wow. So this is a lot. Hopefully this makes sense, right? So incident response. Document the incident, right? That means you need to be able to have a format on how a procedure on how they respond, exactly what happened. I mentioned Joe Friday, right? Joe Friday, just the facts. You just want just the facts and no speculation. Roles and responsibilities. This is where you get out that org chart, right? This is where you get out that dang org chart that we're drawing here. And all, like, what are everybody in her role? What's legal's role, right? Also, do you have a incident response plan ready to go? What's legal's role? Legal's, their whole job is to make sure that the company's not liable. Your CFO wants his or her job is to make sure that the money, that y'all don't run out of money. It's called DROM. Do not run out of money. Don't run out of money. DROM. Compliance. They want to make sure that you're in compliance. Holy crap, we just got breached. We're going to lose our PCI. You know what I'm saying? So each one of these has a role, right? COO. Your COO is usually acting as president as well. And so how does that all relate to security? And that's how you have to know. You're probably going to have in marketing, you're probably going to have director of communications or something like that. Or you got the, like, who's handling the public communications? And ideally, what you're going to do is you're going to have these set up way before you get breached. That's the idea. But that doesn't always happen. But you want to have somebody from each team that knows their role. There's always one or two people that are beasts in each one of these things. You're probably going to get a senior person out there, or maybe some young, ambitious beast to help out with the security thing. So you can, like, deputize these people, and people really like this. I mean, people really like, oh, I'm a part of this, security tiger team or whatever, right? People into that, and you'll get like mad help. All right, let's look at some PDF. All right, so roles and responsibilities, reporting requirements. So some of these are reporting requirements. You want to make sure that you're in compliance with the country, the state, and any other rules. And that's going to dictate how you report an incident response. Sometimes you have to report an incident. It depends on what they compromise. You're going to have to report it to somebody. Report it to customers, whatever, right? Sometimes you gotta let the customers know. Sometimes you have to enter it. It's all kind of procedures, and you have to. This is where legal comes in. That's why security reports to legal. Legal needs to make sure that they know what the reported requirements are, and you help legal get the right information in there. This incident response team. This is when I say incident response team, I'm not talking about a bunch of security people. I'm talking about security plus all the other people that you got in your little tiger team and whatnot. remember, like what I'm doing is, like I said, evergreen. I'm telling you what things that work and don't work because I've seen it. So you, you might want to look up their documentation, maybe look at a study guide. But incident response team is just somebody that's going to perform the response. Not everybody on your security team is going to be an incident responder, right? There's probably going to be people that are in charge of response, but also that those people have to be able to um, manage the other organizations and manage those relationships. You don't want a jerk doing incident response, right? And the more the merrier. More hands make less work. Because if you, the bigger the organization is, the less that person is going to know about all the systems. So you want to make sure that that person has a good a relationship with everybody. So exercises, you want to do. One of the things that the software that I wrote, I started a company called ThreatCare a while ago. I sold it back in October. Um, my software would imitate attackers on their network, and so it allowed companies to do incident response exercises. Also, there's this thing called tabletop exercises. I highly recommend y'all look for. Black Hills Security has a they have a card game. It's pretty dope. If you want to check that out. Card game. Breaches and backdoors. Check this out. It's pretty dope. Um, so what this is pretty cool about this is you can play, and there's a video in here. So if you look for backdoors and breaches, uh, it's like a dang Dungeons and Dragon type game to me. 52 cards. You roll. I think you roll die and all that stuff. I've never played any game like this in my life. I haven't played this game either. Right. So never played this before. But this is one of the things that you want to do if you want to play an instant response game. It's funny. I'm like the perfect combination between super hood and a nerd because there's certain things I don't do. I'm hood. I'm so hood in some ways, and I'm so nerdy in some ways. I'm definitely a strange fruit. All right, so what we're gonna do real quick is I'm gonna take a 5 minute break, and I'll be right back. Okay, 5 minute break. Be back at the top of the hour. Hey fam, can y'all hear me? Alright, cool. Alright, let's continue looking at this PDF. Alright, so many of the things that you want to do is this is going to be kind of complicated for a lot of people. A chain of custody, you want to make sure that people in your organization and you understand how to capture data forensically. So there's actually, and when you really get into forensics, there's like legal stuff on like everything. If a crime is taking place, you need to start documenting everything as soon as you can. That is the most important thing. Now it says document incident up here, but when I see forensics, I'm thinking like it's a whole different level when you talk about forensics. So forensics eventually means that maybe somebody can go to jail for this, right? So there's certain things that there's even tools that have been tested in the court system on, and this is how lawyers work. So basically, our whole legal system, definitely in the U.S., it works by a series of precedents, right? And so, precedents meaning things happened in the past, and a judge ruled on these tools or whatever. Because what happens in court is that people try to throw stuff out, like, oh, we have this evidence of such and such. Well, that's not submissible. But when somebody rules on something, saying yeah, this is admissible in court, and so basically, what happens is you have to kind of, if you're really into forensics, you need to you have to know what's legal and what's not. A good way is because the government actually tries to prosecute a lot of cybercrime stuff, and so many of these things have been and somebody said case law. That I think that's a legal term for it, is that there has to be this precedence of these things have been used before. So be careful when it comes up to trying to use some new tool to do something. But what you can do is you can capture an image. You can do network logs, and if you have them, what you can do is you can run tools that have been already submitted in court. And the court, and there's case law, as Tracer T says, there's case law on that being used in a court of law before. This gets crazy. So what I'm saying is acquire the data, make sure that you're doing it in a way that has been proven and has been approved in court. There's case law that supports that collection method, and capturing the system image. What does the system image means? Sometimes people pull the whole hard drive. You can actually do an image. Basically, you can make a bit for bit copy, is what they say, and you can copy that hard drive exactly. Now, when you're doing a forensic examination, you want to do your examination on the bit for bit copy, and you want to leave the original one there. So somebody just said a DD image. There's probably 3 ways you can do this. You can do a DD image, as somebody just pointed out there. But you want to make sure that there's a bit for bit copy. And so many of these things will do hashes automatically for you. Record time offset. The time offset typically stuff's in UTC time. That's Zulu time. On your network. So some of this stuff is network preparation. So if I go back up here to incident response, some of the preparation is to have an ability to do some of these things. You see where it says record time offset? If you mess up time, you can actually get a case thrown out. So you want to make sure that everything's using UTC on your network, everything at the same time. Because what'll happen is something. What'll happen is a good lawyer that's fighting for their defendant is going to argue times. No, it's no way. I was somewhere else. Blah blah blah. Right. And I was over my girlfriend's house. I didn't have access to my computer. This, that, and the third. But that's why record. So this preparation, you want to make sure that you have ability to do that acquisition. You want to have the ability to have networking logs. You want to be able to capture video in some cases. Sometimes they catch. This is hilarious. Sometimes hackers are caught doing stuff. I've seen people have honeypots running where the hacker comes in and it just captures everything that the hacker's doing, funny enough. Hashes, sometimes the software will automatically take hashes. Screenshots, basically, can be submitted. So, funny enough, everything that you do, you want to get a hash of when you do it. Right? So all the evidence that you collect from a digital perspective, you want to do a hash and you want to record that when you originally do your evidence collection as soon as possible. Because what a lawyer will do, a lawyer will argue, well, you just made that up because you didn't have that file didn't exist on that computer when this crime supposedly had happened. But when you're doing your initial analysis, it's there, it's documented, and all that stuff, right? So basically, the difference between incident response and forensics is you're trying to take somebody to jail or you're trying to take somebody to court, right? Right. So this is what this is for. Track man hours. Basically, what's important here is because you want to track man hours for two things right here. Basically, all the time you spend on responding to this incident and recovering and all this other stuff, that's a part of the case. Even if you did externally, you want to track how much this costs you. Right? Because if you're suing for damages, if you'll know, like, boom, this is approximately how much this incident cost us. Or, this is funny, if you have a third party, you definitely want to be able to keep track of time. Right? Just understand how important timekeeping is. Watch the scene from My Cousin Vinny. That's funny. So, this right here is super important. All this stuff. So anyway, incident response. So you want to do all this stuff every time you respond to an incident. You want to do it in a forensically sound manner. Meaning, you want to do this so in case it has to go to court, you're protected, right? The last thing you want to do is you're a security person and you messed up something and you're not prepared to do this response. You botch the data, you forget to take hashes, you do something that you're human and you may make a mistake. You don't want to cost your company a lawsuit or throwing some dirtbag in jail for hacking y'all. All right, is that clear? This is a whole sector, and this is dope though. I mean, if you can, these two, 5.4, 5.5, you can eat. You can eat long term, no, right? You can do a lot of stuff. All right, so rest of these things, there's a lot of terms in here, a lot of terms. It's a lot of terms. I went over that stuff. All right, so check this out. What I want to do is I want to pivot real quick, and I want to make sure that everybody's in that document. So if everybody can go to the, I'm gonna try to pull up that dang document real quick myself. The document that I'm referring to is the notes that we have online. We need to get those notes looking lovely. So I'm gonna try to open up the notes, see where we're at. And if there's anybody, so everybody, if you need, oh dang it, if you need access to any of those notes, and I know some of y'all been emailing me, but email is the worst way to communicate with me, by the way. So let me just look at it. Anybody else wanna? All right, so I need a volunteer. All right, can we get a volunteer to put their email up here as well, and can manage access for getting other people access? Cause I suck. I need a volunteer to enter their email address up there, and if they want to be. And this is just for now. When we publish it, we can get rid of their email address. No, I'm saying put your email address there, and then we'll drop it into the chat, right? And then anybody that needs it. Oh, I know it said email me on the cover, but I suck at email, so I need a volunteer. There we go. Frank the Tizank stepping up. This is. Anybody else want to volunteer? For document managers? All right, sweet. All right, sweet. Wobba Fett. All right, is that right? Don't email Marcus. No. Anybody else? Austin is the OG when it comes to. I can't edit this? God dang. Oh, get rid of Marcus' name. Because Marcus never answers emails. All right. That's funny. My dog's back here whining. I don't know if y'all can hear him. Alright, so there's a couple of email addresses in here. I'm gonna blow this up. If you don't have access to this document, holla at these G's right here. God dang it. That's facts. I did add a bunch of people. The first night I got it popping, but I've seen some come in. And I was not quick on the draw. So these right here can get these people will give you access to both documents, Network Plus and Security Plus. All right, so what we're gonna try to do is I wanted to finish this document off, and then I wanted to switch into test prep mode so we can start talking about test strategies and all that stuff. How many people we have in the chat tonight? How many people we have here? You know, is there somebody who can tell that? It's 40. All right, sweet. So what I can do is I'm going to start. I got a Zoom. I got my own personal Zoom, and so we're going to start holding this on Zoom. All right. Y'all down with that? We're going to switch from Zoom. We're going to switch from Twitch to Zoom. And then the reason why is because we can do some, we'll be able to work together in the Zoom. I tell you what, Austin, can you do me a huge favor? Austin, you've been stellar, and can you create a spreadsheet and let people put their name and emails in them? Wobbuffet, what's up? Sweet. So what we're gonna do, switching to Zoom, is gonna allow us to do some pretty cool stuff. Zoom works with the link or what does that say? STH? What does that mean? I think I got 100 max for Zoom. We're good. So we'll be able to get in there and get busy. I mean, if we got 40 here, you know, if we peak on double, we're good. And also the people that like, that's it. Hey Austin, did you peep me, Austin? If you can we're gonna create an email list, and I'm gonna invite the people on that list to the Zoom, and then we can I can absolutely record the Zoom. I don't mind recording the Zooms, but I think there could be more interaction. I want to probably get to a space where other people can present and all that stuff, right? So it can be way more. It'll be way more interactive. Yeah, some people hate me on the internet, so there are people who be definitely bombing the Zoom. Awesome, appreciate that, bro. Hey, don't worry about it, Pendecos. We good. Y'all can barely understand me. Don't worry about it. Oh, you from? I was stationed at Edsel, Pendecos. I got family that live in Aberdeen. I got family in Fife, and I got family in dang it. Oh, Alva. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I was over there. It's cool to have it's cool. All right. So there's a form. Sign up for the Zoom. There's a form that Austin put up there. If you don't sign up for that name form, you're not gonna get an invite to the Zoom. But what I'll do is I'll try to see if some stragglers over there. But we're doing this Zoom next time. Thanks, Wobber Fat. It's gonna be good. I think we can definitely collab and all that stuff a little bit better. Oh yeah, cool. So make sure y'all hit up. We got 3 volunteers to. Yep. Yeah. People will be able to talk. What I want to do is I want to get people to present as well too. So I want it to be more kind of like a study group kind of thing. Study group, and then what we can do is oh, you better um. Yeah, so I want to do Zoom because it'll allow more real time collaboration. This worked great for mass, but now we're down to if we're down to 40 something people, and maybe we spike to maybe we spike to 50, 60, right? But yeah, so but I will pop into the Zoom to get stragglers next time, probably. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll figure out how to do that. But I think that even some of the stragglers, if they're watching the videos after this, they'll hopefully can email Austin to get on this. Hey, you don't have to show your camera if you're on Zoom, so you can still watch in your underwear. It's all good, as long as you don't turn the camera on. Am I going to Zoom tonight? You know, we can test Zoom out. We can test it out. Let me fire up a Zoom. I'm gonna. This is funny. All right, I'm gonna send this Zoom link in here. All right, I'm gonna stop the broadcast, and I'm in the Zoom channel now. All right, and I'll see y'all on Zoom.